work. He's a Frontline employee. And we have two little girls. They are 2 and 3. We just moved into our new house. So we are getting used to moving and both of us working. So I actually just left my full-time job Friday, but I worked full-time in management at a compounding pharmacy. So we were both working long hours, and during a pandemic, things can get a little bit crazy. So thank God for ketones. That's what we're going to talk about. So as you guys are still coming in, go ahead and keep the chat going. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know any silver lining of COVID that you have personally experienced since COVID started. Just one silver lining you think that you've experienced with COVID. Okay, so like I said, I just left my full-time job. Been drinking ketones now for about 18 months. I dropped 55 pounds in the first 10 months that I drank them. And honestly, these little white packets, if you don't know what they are, we're going to talk a lot about them tonight. You're going to hear some amazing stories from several individuals who are currently working the front line. And personally, I want to thank every single one of you who are on here tonight for working during a time where things are crazy. The new normal is not so normal. And I just wanted to take time out and say thank you to every single one of you for leaving your families day in and day out, or even if you're working from home and working during a pandemic. So thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do. And hopefully the light at the end of the tunnel is somewhere down the road. All right. So I wanted to talk about these ketones, this amazing powder. So if you guys have been drinking ketones, go ahead in the chat and say how long you've been drinking them. Or if you're new and you don't know what ketones are, go ahead and say, I'm a newbie. We love newbies. We're so happy you're here. So we're going to talk a lot about this magical white powder. So first off, we are going to hear from one of our nurses who has been drinking ketones for some time now. And this is actually my sister. Her name's Stephanie Cash. So she's going to come off and she's going to talk about her experience with ketones. And Steph, if you want to hit unmute and come on here and let us know what it's all about.
All right. Can you guys hear me? It's my first time using my, all right, great. So as Jamie introduced me, I am Stephanie Cash. I am her sister. So I want to also thank everyone who has been working on the front lines during this entire time. It has not been easy. So as Jamie mentioned, I'm a nurse. I work in, it's called cardiovascular interventional radiology. It's a small, minor OR type setting. Basically how I describe it is if you're bleeding, we stop the bleeding. If there's no flow, we start the flow again, just to kind of sum it up. But so I have been a nurse for 10 years now. My husband and I have 2 children, 7 and 5. So obviously we've taken on the whole role of also helping with virtual learning, which has been a whole nother dilemma with this entire pandemic as well. So some of the things with drinking ketones with COVID. So before ketones, I worked 8-hour days. I'd come home from work. I was exhausted. I was dead tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, just drained. I wanted to just sit on the couch and do nothing. And having a 7 and 5-year-old, that's not really optional. You know, you have a spouse, you have a household, you have animals, you have friends, you have family, you have to keep things moving. And I couldn't, I physically could not do it anymore. So I watched Jamie, who was about 6 months into her journey at that point, and she had all this energy to keep up with her 2 little girls at the time, 2 and 2. And I'm like, how are you doing this? I don't get it. I can't do it. She's like, Steph, you got to try these. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So finally, 6 months into watching her, I decided to do it as well. I want to say within 20 minutes of me drinking my first packet, I texted her and I'm like, I feel euphoric. I feel amazing. What is in this stuff? I feel awesome. So I knew instantly how much I love this product. And then from that, I started picking up on like, hey, look at my sleep. Like I'm sleeping so soundly, which is also something that, you know, working in the medical field and going through this pandemic, you know, your sleep, you're stressed, you're not being able to get a good night rest. It adds up quickly. Another thing too is my focus. So because I was always so tired and just mentally burnt out from everything, my focus was not on point. Being in the medical field, being a frontline worker, you have to be on point every every second of the day. You have to be on all the time. So this was something that helped turn that switch back on for me. And I was able to, pick up on things and just be quicker with everything. So the mental and physical exhaustion slowly started to lift. My mood started to improve. I was much more pleasant at home with my kids, much more tolerant and patient. Those are things that, when you're not feeling happy or, happy with yourself, you lack in that area. So also with all of those things, so my sleep improved, my mood improved. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months, and that was not something that I was necessarily looking to do, but I needed to do it because I didn't have the energy to be my old self. I wasn't working out. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I felt terrible. So I started keto, started drinking the ketones, lost 30 pounds in 3 months. My energy came back. I felt absolutely amazing. I was able to get back to where I was. So with all of those things, the better mood, the better energy, better sleep, better focus, all those things, and then the added weight loss, ketones have changed my life forever. And I owe getting through the pandemic thus far to the ketones. So it has literally changed my life mentally and physically, and I never want to go a day without them ever.
Awesome, sis. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. How amazing is Steph's story, and how many of you guys have felt the exhaustion and the lack of mental clarity and the awful sleep? How many of you guys are going to work and coming home and playing homeschool teacher who have never had teaching experience before? I've heard so many stories about parents absorbing this new role, and God bless all of you that go and work your 9 to 5 and then come home and then you're teaching your children. Like, that is just incredible for all of you. So Steph touched on a couple of things that I want to expand about, and she talked about her energy. So how many of you could use better energy? I'm sure the majority, if not all of you, are working some type of shift work schedule. Are you working 12s? Are you working 8s? Are you working nights? Are you working days? Are you rotating between the schedules? Personal story. So my husband is a police officer, and he used to work days and nights, and he would switch with 3 days in between. And this man drank 3 monsters a day in and day out. And finally one day he was like, all right, let me try this drink. What are you drinking? So my husband made the switch from his Red Bulls and his Monsters to our unleashed ketones, which have 30% more caffeine and ketones in them. He dropped 15 pounds. And like Steph said, that wasn't necessarily on his list of things to accomplish. But the fact that he was switching between nights and days seamlessly. I wasn't tiptoeing around the house or trying to keep the girls quiet anymore, because he was awake. And instead of him going to sleep from shift end to shift start, he was more present, and he was with the girls, and he was active with us, and his mood was better as well. So just wanted to touch on that. Steph also talked about better sleep. So how many of you guys could literally love some extra better sleep here, some deeper sleep? I know that has been a huge game changer for me. Again, with 2 small girls working full time, any sleep I can get with 2 small children, I'm going to take that. And the better mood. Yes. There's a joke around here that if I don't take my morning ketones, you notice it. I would say the same thing if you do ketones this morning, and it's like, I'm getting to it. But so true. Such an elevated mood. So Steph, thank you so much for sharing that really powerful story. And on top of it, 30 pounds of fat loss is just incredible. So our next speaker is Betty O'Brien. So Betty O'Brien is a dispatch for a bus company, and she's going to come off of you and tell us her story. Hey, Betty.
Hey. Oh, okay. I think I'm off. Hey guys. All right. So I'm Betty. I'm from Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. So I'm way over here on the East Coast, and I'm a school bus driver, and I also run transportation dispatch. So with the pandemic, trying to keep everybody's social distance, we're extremely short. So I am driving a bus more so than I am in the office. On top of everything, I am also a personal fitness trainer. So even when we shut down in April or March, whenever we shut down, I was still working. I never stopped. Some days I was working from home, but I never stopped with my clients, and I never stopped with the school. So I'm a mom of 4 boys. My stepson is 20. My oldest is 19. My middle is 14, and my youngest is 10. My 10-year-old has some learning disability, so he's definitely high maintenance. lots of energy needed. So, and I work 15 hours a day. I work from 5 a.m. till about 7:30 at night. Before ketones, I can tell you, I was drinking kind of like Jamie's husband was, 2 to 3 energy drinks a day. With pre-workout before training, I take 2 to 3 servings. Like normal people would probably be in the hospital, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm fine. So, it was crazy. And, I have such, because of my asthma medication, I have such a high tolerance for stimulants that it really didn't faze me. And I just constantly needed more. So, I've always known Linda, but I've watched Linda be on these things, and I was watching her drop weight, and I was just like, what you're doing isn't healthy. Like it can't be, I'm the nutritionist. Whatever you're doing is not healthy. So she swore up and down, showed me pictures of Steph, showed me pictures of Jamie, did some homework. And finally I was like, all right, let me try this damn packet. I was like, let's do it. So since then, we're talking, I think I started in April or May. I have no urge or need to even take a drop of an energy drink. I still work 15 hours a day. My schedule right now, because we can't decide on whether we're remote or not remote, it's every day is something new. So no pre-workout, absolutely none. I have the best workouts ever. I am actually stronger. I dropped 20 pounds of fat loss. So, and it's literally fat loss. You can see the muscle definition, and it's hard when you're covered in tattoos to see the actual muscle definition, but you can see it with me. I have stuff written down here, so I actually don't forget, but yeah, no, everything's been amazing. You can tell when I don't take them. Like today, I didn't take them right away. I have a lot of issues with my dog, so I've been just mentally exhausted, and I did our Mexican ketones this morning, and I've been just raring to go. What I'm excited about, future wise, is not only what this company has to bring to me, because starting this in the middle of the pandemic, I was trying to buy a house. Needless to say, I'm in that house because of ketones. When I was down an income from the gym, even though I was still having my clients, I couldn't work in the gym. So I wasn't getting an hourly income. These ketones have basically, they made up for it and then some. I was able to buy the house and do stuff and buy my husband a Harley and, just extra things that I wouldn't think that were possible. So I'm excited on what the opportunity still has yet to bring me, because watching Jamie's story, watching, Sally and everybody else, what they're doing now is amazing. Health-wise, I just want to keep being healthy. Like I want to share the dream. I want you guys, and this is what I do for a living, is I want people to understand how they can actually better their lives. I think that's it.
Wow. Well, that was awesome. So I took a couple of notes here, Betty, and you just said you've had no energy drinks since you started drinking ketones. How many of you guys in the chat box drink energy drinks? And if you do, how many energy drinks are you drinking a day? Just curious. So go ahead in the chat and write down how many energy drinks you are drinking per day currently, to feel like you need to be present, to feel that you need to be a better worker, a better mom, a better dad, a better whatever. Just go ahead and put in the chat how many you're drinking. Very curious to see. Awesome. So far I'm seeing nobody's drinking energy drinks. That's awesome. Stop drinking coffee. Okay, that's good too. So also, Betty talked about stimulants. So the awesome thing about our Keto Nat is our Keto Nat is all natural. There are no stimulants in this. So there are charged versions, which is our caffeine, but you can literally read the back of these packets and figure out everything that's in here. And you're going to reap the benefits that you keep hearing over again: better energy, better focus, better sleep, fat loss, mental clarity, focus. These are all things everybody needs. So from the stories that you've heard so far, what benefit are you most excited about just from hearing about this product? Or if you have been drinking it, what do you love the most? So I would say for me, mine was the fat loss. I loved dropping weight. And now mine is definitely mental clarity. So if you've had children or you have a stressful job, which the majority of you do, that brain fog is a thing. So you have like this hazy this hazy thing about you when you wake up. And I heard someone tell a story that these ketones are the windshield wipers of their day, and they kind of make everything come to fruition, and you have mental clarity throughout the day. Just amazing stuff here. And lastly, so Betty did talk a little bit about being a promoter and joining this team. So the sense of community has been something that I think 2020 really stripped people of feeling like part of a community. There was no get-togethers, there was no holidays, there was none of this and none of that. And this business really can give you a whole opportunity of things that you didn't know was possible. So Hillary, she's in the chat right now. She said she feels like she's 16 and she's 40. That's amazing. People are saying that their favorite is the energy. You cannot go wrong there at all. And then the last thing I want to touch upon with Betty's story, she talked about fat loss and she had muscle preservation. So, if we could just mute. So muscle preservation, ketones will shed your fat and preserve your muscle. So if you're someone who is working out, or you are a personal trainer or anything like that, you don't have to worry about your muscle tone going away. You're actually going to preserve your muscle mass, which is amazing. Next, we are going to hear from Sunny Myers. So Sunny, if you can come off mute and share your story with us, we'd love to hear it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you can hear me. I have my headphones in because I'm actually at work right now. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I am from Alberta, Canada. So I don't know if there's any other Canadians on this call. If there is, drop a Canada flag down in the chat. I got introduced into ketones July 2016. So I've been drinking ketones for a long time. And just to see the change in our product and the change in our community has been like absolutely amazing. So I train horses and I also work as a healthcare aide. Since the pandemic, things have been absolutely crazy. So just an example of what we have to do on night shifts, the gowns, the gloves, the masks, the face shield, it's absolutely exhausting. So to know that you can just, I just mixed up the blueberry acai, you can mix it in your shaker cup, drink it, and you just have like the windshield wiper effect. Everything just seems easier, your night flies by, you can focus on like your tasks of what have to get done at work. That's probably one of my favorite things. When I can drink ketones at work, it's just so easy. It's not something that you have to mix up or blend up. You throw some water in it and you go. So before drinking ketones, I never knew how much anxiety I actually really had until it was gone. I would get really nervous being in crowds of people, going to town just for small things like getting the groceries. And now, like, I realize that I can just be relaxed and go do all those things that have to get done in a day. So as well, one of the things, I just have some notes wrote down because I was trying to be as focused as I could with phones going off and that. So I have also lost 44 pounds. So for me, before ketones, I literally tried everything to lose weight. I tried the reps, I tried the potions, the this, the that, and my body just, nothing was working. So when I first started ketones on day 7, when I realized I had lost, on day 7, I believe I had lost like 5 pounds, it was like a celebration. I think I had to call my dad and tell him, just because nothing had ever worked. I had always been overweight. And my energy also has been like super, super through the roof. I have a farm, so I ride 3 to 4 horses a day when it's not snowing. And then I also work, I also work, it's supposed to be casual, but with COVID, it's been full time. I had really bad migraines and inflammation in my head because I've been through a lot of serious accidents. So drinking the ketones have really, really helped with not having to take any Motrin, any Tylenol. If I feel like I have a headache coming on and it's later in the evening, I'll just have a caffeine-free keto, and I just really feel like that just lifts. Another one of the biggest things that I've felt like what ketones have done for me, and this is like this is kind of hard to say, but it's like ketones have made me feel my worth. I don't know if any of you can resonate with that, but they've just made me feel like I have something super special I need to share with more people. Um, and I just feel like the more that you share with people and, you know, the stories we're getting on our phones daily, it just makes you feel like we're all here and we're all better together. So continue sharing that story. One of the biggest things that I'm excited about is just to see, like, from 2016 to now, all the different flavors, the different community, how the community is coming together at a hard time like this. Um, there's just so many things to be excited about. So 2 years ago, I hit my rank 6. So I'm a car champ with Pruvit. And it's still even hard for me to believe because, like, I'm a small town girl. I'm not from a city. I don't do any of these, like, I'm just a small town person. And for me to have reached a goal like that, like, I still almost literally have to pinch myself to see that it's like real and that people can do this and that this drink right here literally can change your life. So I guess that's everything I wanted to say. I do have the phone going off, so I should probably jump off here. I really appreciate everybody taking time out of their evening to listening to this, and I hope everybody has a wonderful night.
Awesome, Sunny. Thank you so much for sharing. And hopefully those phones die down a little bit and give you a little bit of a break today. But thank you so much. There's so many things that you said that I resonated with. So when you're a small town girl, I literally have a horse farm next to my house. It was so funny, everything you were saying. I was like, yeah, I'm from a small town and I have a horse farm next door. And I pinch myself too when I get into my car. So that, yes, this community is just absolutely amazing. And the support that you get and that sense of community, like I said before, that's missing. You are fulfilled with these amazing, like-minded, positive people who are drinking the magic drink that make them smile every day. And she also touched upon anxiety. So after I had my babies, I had not the best bout of postpartum, and I was on a couple medications to help regulate my emotions. And I will say that finding ketones aided in helping me with my journey with postpartum. And I am medication free and 1 to 3 times a day, shaking these up in water. So Sunny went over something very important. She talked about how you mix them up. So all of the directions are on the back of our packets, which are amazing, but essentially it is so simple. Like if you forget these, hang them in your car, put them in your locker at work, put them in your shoes so you step on them the morning before you're heading to work, whatever you need to do to get yourself into ketosis in 1 hour, which by the way, that's all it takes is you rip these open, you pour it into a shaker cup, you fill it with 16 to 20 ounces of water, drink it within 30 minutes, drink it 30 minutes before you want to feel your best, and you are going to feel the amazing benefits of ketosis, which you've heard time and time again with everybody sharing their stories and everything better that they're experiencing. So with that being said, we're going to have Deirdre. She's going to come off mute and share her experience with ketones.
Hi, I'm Deirdre. I live in Danville, Pennsylvania, and I've been drinking ketones since about August. I'm a OBGYN at Geisinger and a mom of 2 boys, and I have a 2-year-old and I have a 6-month-old. So I actually started. So pretty much my journey started because I delivered my son in June, and I was the most weight I've ever had in my life at that point. And I was just so uncomfortable, and I just felt like, I would wake up at like 6, and then by 12, I would feel so tired, like I had to take a nap. I felt like I was eating all the time, which is, I think, also due to breastfeeding and everything like that. So So I just felt like I wasn't doing any good for myself. And then I had seen Stephanie's story on her Facebook page, and it just, she was talking about more energy, and I saw her weight loss journey, and it just kind of inspired me to try to do the same thing. So I reached out to her in August, and then since then I've lost 25 pounds, not even trying. I'm literally just drinking ketones, and probably the best part of it. I know that we talked about the energy, which is phenomenal. That has definitely changed everything for me. I feel like not only do I get home after working like 24-hour shifts, and I take like a quick nap and just drink some ketones, and then I can even spend the whole day with my kids and playing with them, but also the appetite suppression is amazing because I'm not like constantly like just stuffing my face, which definitely helps. And yeah, and then the biggest thing is I'm also studying right now for my board exams. So after working all day, spending time with the kids, making them dinner, I then have to stay up late and study, which is what I'm doing now. So I always drink a thing of ketones right before I start studying too, so I can focus and have that kind of mental clarity before I start there. I was really excited when I got into this, just really excited to be a part of some of the groups that they have, and it's just really inspiring to hear everybody's stories. I really like the sense of community and just the sense of just everyone, grouping together and really being there for each other. So I'm just looking forward to, participating more in those groups, and if people come up to me and ask me what I'm doing all the time, I like just telling them my story, and hopefully changing someone else's life too.
Wow, that was amazing. I am like sitting here like, oh my gosh, you do it all. Like, I think my plate is full. You have a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old at home. Guys, can we show Deirdre some love in the chat? She is like working crazy hours, 2 small babies, comes home from working, starts studying for the board. So just literally amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And Deirdre touched upon appetite suppressant. So that's one of the things that we haven't necessarily talked about tonight. So let's take some time to talk about that. The appetite suppression with this product is real. So you will drink this, and next thing you know, it's going to be lunch, and you're like, holy smokes, I didn't eat today. Like, what's going on? If you guys have experienced the appetite suppression, go ahead and show us in the chat that you've experienced that. And if you've ever done a reboot with us or don't know what that is, make sure you reach out to who has sent you here to get more information. But essentially, it's a 60-hour fast. First time someone told me about it, I was like, yeah, no, not for me. So I'm actually doing a 60-hour reboot right now, and this is number 11 for me. So the more you drink them, the better your body absorbs ketones, and the longer you go without needing to eat. So it's really just incredible stuff here for sure. So the last person that we have to share a story tonight is Jessica Phillips. So Jess Phillips is going to share with you her story. She is an ER nurse who's on the front line with COVID, and she's going to give you a little bit about the product, and then she's going to tell you a little bit about how this business has changed her life. And then once she's done talking, we will get you guys going with how to get this product in your hands, and then we'll wrap up. So Jess, take it away.
You guys hear me? Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Phillips. I am an emergency room nurse. I have been a nurse for 12 years now. I'm also a mom of 3. I have a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 3-year-old as of today. Her birthday's today. Prior to drinking ketones, I was always tired. I work night shift, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I am per diem, but I end up working more than full-time hours. There's always a need. So I was just exhausted all the time, and I thought that was my normal. I thought that it was because I worked night shift. I mean, I knew that I was overweight, but I just didn't think that there was any way of not feeling like a zombie at all times. So I just felt like I was failing my kids. I didn't have the energy to come home and play with them. Then the pandemic hit and things got worse. Everything felt out of control in the world. I was going to work and coming home, and I was stripping down out of my clothes outside, running to the shower, not kissing my kids because, you know, we didn't know what was going on. It was scary. So I knew that it was time that I needed to make a change. I wanted to get control back of my own life. I'd been watching Jamie's story, and of course I was super skeptical. I was like, oh, okay, this is just something else. I've tried so many things. This is just another thing. But I was willing to do anything at that point. Also, all the goodies that everybody was sending us, the pizza, the cookies, I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank you for sending all these things, but this isn't helping. So I started drinking ketones in May. My initial wanting to drink the ketones was I, kept hearing about the energy. So I was like, okay, maybe I can get some energy. And of course, the fat loss. I have lost 60 pounds since starting in May. And it wasn't difficult. I just had to make small changes. I, wasn't needing to grab all the junk food. I was like, oh, I drink my ketones. I'm not hungry. That's fine. So it's the easiest I've ever lost weight, which it's never been easy for me. I could get to a certain point and then I would always get stuck and give up. And so that's just where I was. But this, life-changing. It's been easy. But the other part was my energy and my sleep was so much better. I could sleep 8 hours and get up and feel well rested, even after working night shift. So I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, I haven't slept 8 hours in a long time and felt well rested because I always just had this fog all the time. So within the first 2 weeks, I was like, what is happening? Like, this is a game changer. So I had the energy to play with my kids. I was just like so grateful and so thankful that I had gotten started, even though I was, the whole time thinking like, oh, okay, this lady's crazy. What I'm most excited about for all of this is not just how I feel, because I feel better. I have better mood, better sleep, better energy. Everyone around me is like, Jess, what are you doing? And it's not just the weight loss. They can tell, like, I feel better. And I was already telling everyone about ketones. Like, oh, what are you doing to lose weight? And I would tell everybody about ketones. And then I was thinking to myself, like, if I'm already telling everyone, maybe I'll just join in and see what happens. Like, what could really go wrong? I was already sharing my story with anybody who would listen. So since July, the end of July, I signed up to be a promoter. Since then, I've been able to pay off my car payments. So I don't owe anything on my car. I've paid off all my credit card debt, which in turn gives me so much more freedom. I can choose when I want to work and when I don't want to work. And that's the best part. It gives me the time to be at home, which during this pandemic, it's changed my life because I've been able to like only work when I want to. I have to teach my kids during the day. So I'm doing the virtual learning at home and I'm able to make my own schedule. So the freedom has just, it's changed a lot of things for our family. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds for us. So thanks for listening.
Awesome, Jess. Thank you so much for sharing. And so Jess is an example of not just a nurse, an ER nurse, and not just an ER nurse, but a night shift ER nurse with 3 kids. She comes home, does virtual learning. I mean, all of these stories are just so inspiring to me and so incredible. And again, if you guys weren't here in the beginning, I just want to say hats off to all of you frontline workers who are going out there with the public every day and don't know what you're getting into and don't know what you're being exposed to. So I do really appreciate you guys taking the time out tonight to jump on this call. And I hope that somebody's story resonated with you and you felt a connection like, hey, that's me, I'm tired, or, I really do want some fat loss, or I really do need mental clarity or better sleep. And this product, I want to shout from the rooftops every time someone's like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't know what I'm doing. I mean, like, come on. But really the product is amazing. The company is amazing. And just the sense of community that you get. So there are a few ways for you guys to get your hands on this product. The first thing I would do is I would reach out to who sent you here and say, hey, I'm ready for better. I need a better mood, better sleep, better energy, better focus, better whatever. And that person will direct you on our several options to get started. We have a 10-day challenge pack, which is the best way to get your hands on a variety of flavors. We have bulk packs that you can get. If you're interested in being a promoter, make sure you let the person know who sent you here too. Like, hey, I'm ready to dive in and change my life. And believe me, it's possible. You can do it. If you're not dreaming of leaving your job and you want to, who knows where you'll be a year from now. So I just wanted to take the time. Thank you guys so much for everything. Thanks to everybody for sharing. So I hope you guys have an amazing night, amazing rest of your weekend. And I hope this work week for all of you guys is a little less stressful than last week. And I hope you enjoy the rest of it. Take care, everybody. Bye.